TNG Prepper here. Today we are going to talk about prepping basics and how to make sure you can go back home safely and independently in case of an emergency situation. So first, we are going to talk about the context of a get home situation using my personal life and my personal environment to basically make a case study. And then we are going to talk about the prepping strategy corresponding to such a get home situation. As usual, we are going to cover the necessary mindset, fitness, and skills to be prepared. And last but not least, we are going to talk about the gear that will help you in this situation. Welcome to my channel, everybody, and let's talk today about one of the very first situations you want to get ready for as a new prepper, which is basically getting safely back home while shit hits the fan or in any sort of serious emergency situation. So first, why would you do that? Why would you want to go back home as soon as possible if shit hits the fan? Well, I don't know about you guys, but personally, if something is turning seriously bad while I am at the office or in the city center, the first thing that I'm gonna be thinking about is to go back home and make sure my girlfriend is safe there. Especially if I have no clue about the scope of the shitty situation I'm suddenly finding myself in, which is, let's admit it, most likely to be the case when shit hits the fan. The truth is, when shit hits the fan, I have very little clue about what is really happening. Whether it is an EMP attack, a nuclear attack, or a global power outage, a flood, it really doesn't matter. What is sure is that I am very likely to be under a significant amount of stress, and I am quite frankly not gonna be able to figure out on the spot how long this shitty situation is gonna last, or if there is any chance at all that this is gonna get resolved fast. So really, all I know in that precise moment is that my home is my family rendezvous point, and that most of the survival gear that are gonna keep me safe are over there. That's why there is really not much of a debate for me when it comes to what I should do next when shit hits the fan while I am off base. The idea for me is to go home ASAP, period. Now, in my personal situation, when I am off base, I am most likely to have my car around the corner, which is great, but there is no guarantee it's gonna be working in every emergency situation. For example, in the case of an EMP attack, there is very little chance my car is gonna be able to start. So I better get ready basically to go back home on foot, as there is also a high chance that public transport is gonna be interrupted. Now, hopefully I'm not further away than 30 kilometers from home, which will be true in my case 90% of the time. So I can start walking and make it home on foot in about 6 to 8 hours. You can count basically between 2 and 2 hours and a half to cover 10 kilometers of flat ground without taking a break. The only exception to that is shit hits the fan very late in the day or at night. And if all the lightning devices are down, so for example again in the case of an EMP attack, in that case what I want to do is shelter in place before I go hit the road on foot. So namely in my car if I am out of town, or at someone's place if I am in the city. So that's it for the context, guys. Now, before talking about the prepping strategy, let's summarize what I'm preparing for. So first of all, I'm preparing for going home on foot safely and independently. Of course, in case shit hits the fan and there is no means of transportation available. Also, ideally, I want to make it home in less than 24 hours for a maximum of 30 kilometers and at day or at night. So that's what I'm preparing for. And now let's have a look at the prepping strategy corresponding to this context and situation. Let's start with the mindset. So first of all, very important, you have to consider the situation as a day hike, not as a survival situation per se. Because the goal here is to first go home safely as soon as possible. It is not to establish camp and start going hunting, fishing or whatever, okay? Stay focused on going back home and you will think about all the rest later. And remember, as a rule of thumb, it takes between 2 hours and 2 hours and a half to cover 10 kilometers of flat ground. Now let's talk about fitness. Well, probably the best thing you can do to get ready for a get-home situation is to take regular walks and hikes and to carry with you your get-home bag while you do so. Obviously, it's gonna get you fit for the task, but not only. It's also gonna help you develop a day hike mindset, which is a very mindset we talked about just before. And last but not least, it is gonna force you to practice the skills related to an off-grid day hike. So what are the skills needed exactly? Well, it's pretty simple. You need to learn off-grid navigation. Remember, we are talking about the possibility of an EMP attack, which is our worst case scenario. And of course, in that case, you need to be able to navigate off-grid. So to do so, basically, you need to know how to read a printed map and you need to know how to use a compass. That's it. Last but not least, what is the gear you are gonna need in such a situation? So the idea for you is to put together a get-home bag. And to do that, please keep in mind that the main goal is simply to go home safely and that probably you are gonna need to cover a distance from 5 to 30 kilometers on foot. So really what you should focus on is good footwear and good clothing, and that's it. And also, eventually you might need to first shelter in place. Remember, if shit hits the fan at night. So that might be another consideration to keep in mind before you put together all your gear. Alright guys, so the sun is down, therefore I dressed up a bit for the conclusion of this video. We have seen all the theory about a potential get-home situation, the whole strategy, including the mindset necessary, the skills necessary, as well as the gear. We have not been today into details with the gear simply because my next video is gonna be my personal get-home bag reveal. So I'm gonna put the link in the description and all you have to do at the end of this video is click and follow the link and you are gonna see all the pieces of gear I am having personally in my get-home bag. And as usual, they are gonna be what I believe is the best value for money pieces of gear you can get. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see you in the next video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And please let me know in the comments what would be your strategy to get home safely when shit hits the fan. Thanks for watching, guys. Stingy Prepper out.